Hi, thank you for contacting us for a review of your business, perfectplumbers.co.uk, and your website and digital marketing. When I look at these things, I first of all start off looking at the website. The reason being is we want to make sure that's converting as best as possible. And then we look at other things like traffic sources and the like. So in terms of your website, overall, it's a nice, clean design. One thing that immediately springs to mind is the little band going across the top. Now, I know it's cute. I know one of the big competitors in the market, Pimlico Plumbers, have a similar thing. But for me, it's really very distracting. My eyes are just drawn to that band going across, and I'm not looking and reading about your business. When somebody lands on your website, you have literally a second or two to convince them that your business is relevant and going to solve their problem before they disappear off. I just think it's a bit of a distraction. What I would recommend is split testing. So that's testing two pages, and you could test one with and one without, and then just look at your conversion rates and see if there's any difference. Um, and that way you can see if it's going to make a difference to your to the business. In terms of your headline here, I think it's a bit, I wouldn't use this headline. You need to have something very clear about the problem you're going to solve for your customers. So they come on here, they have a very clear idea of what you're going to solve for the customer. The problem is saying number one plumbers. Well, according to who? Most people look at that and they'll say, "Yeah, you say you're number one, but has anybody rated you number one? What's the sort of the evidence for that?" And then you say Surrey, London, Greater London, Berkshire, Sussex, Kent, and all other counties. Again, that's a little bit confusing. It's like, are you just Surrey, London, Greater London, Berkshire, Sussex, and Kent, or are you nationwide? And if you're nationwide, why are you sort of picking out those particular counties? I get that's probably where most of your business is, but you have your business everywhere. I'd be a little bit more specific maybe about your services. You need to think very carefully about the wording and the messaging you use, but it needs to attract people straight away. So it might be more about your services, but emergency plumbers or all your plumbing needs solved quickly, fully guaranteed, call out within an hour for emergency service. Something very clear and concise that solves the problem that your customers are looking for. And if we were to work with you, we'd do a lot of research into your customers and what they're looking for. I mean, some of it may be very obvious. They've got a leaky pipe, they need it fixed quickly and so on. But then crafting that message is really important, and that'll make a difference to your conversions. Um, this top bit of the website is what we call above the fold, and that's the sort of most important bit. A lot of people, we have heat maps we put on websites and so on. You can see that shows you where visitors are going, what they're clicking on, and so on. Generally speaking, 89% of people won't go any further than this top bit of your website. So you've really got to convince them in this little bit here of website real estate that you're the right person to solve their job. What you don't have is any social proof up here. You got gas safe register, okay, but I would recommend having some more qualifications, maybe some testimonials, some reviews, sort of accreditation. That reviews is something that I'll come back to because I think that's quite important for your business. You've got up here easy ways to contact you, which is great. Email, send us a mail. Another thing we see is working quite well with some businesses is having live chat. People like contacting people in different ways. Some prefer to email, some prefer to call. More and more people are getting used to live chat. It's a quick way of messaging. You can have an automated messaging system, but also somebody operating it live. It can go through to your mobile while you're out and about. It gives another option and another way of potentially converting website visitors into business. The other thing I would do is, you've got some pictures here. I would also, one of your competitors would come on to has a very clear sort of steps of how your process works. So step one, give us a call. Step two, we'll come and fix it. Step three, you're fully guaranteed for a year. People want to see very easily and clearly how it is to work with you. I know it may be very obvious, but the idea that the more you can spell it out, the clearer it is, the less resistance, the more people are going to convert. So yeah, just scrolling down here, and you've got just services down here. I mean, some of this stuff might be better higher up, so people can see what you do. I get you doing this for SEO, but it kind of is repeating itself. I mean, writing for SEO is good, but you also need to write for the reader. And I think, again, up here, it looks like it's clearly written for SEO. I mean, it does tell people where you operate. But again, yes, I think you need to look at your customers' pain points and what you're really trying to solve. Yeah, it's pretty obvious, I assume, in plumbing. Yeah, it's a leaky pipe, but there are probably a range of different services. Block glues, gas, you do gas with problems, sewage repairs, remodels, and so on. So yeah, you just come up with a nice punchy sentence up here that really gets their attention. So yeah, and we'll just have a quick look at some of your competitors' websites. So Pimlico Plumbers, very well business. Yeah, they've got the van going across the top. I see. Probably, I see you've got the idea from that. Yeah, they're very successful. Um, I personally also find it a little bit distracting. I don't know how much it adds to conversions or detract. I don't know. They got a nice clear image of what they do. I'm just looking at your website. This is you also your image. You want to. I can see it is plumbing parts, but for your average consumer, that may be a bit sort of detailed and involved. Um, you might want a better image just to sort of often we do what we call sort of future pacing. So showing your customer how you're going to solve the problem, what they're going to look like when the problem's resolved, or even a picture of yourself like Pimlico Cummers, or you could have a picture of somebody looking relieved and happy that you've solved their plumbing problems. Here you've got the van. I mean, that's good. It's got a picture of a van. It's not a stock image. It's a real person. I think that works well as well. Yeah, they got their phone number up there. They say they're 24 hours. Actually, I don't know if you're 24 hours or if you are, it does say 247 call out down here, but having it against the number as well might help. Because people might come on here and think, oh, I'm not sure until they read the small bit down here that's 24 hours. So that's something to think about. And then they've got a nice story here. Stories, and they've got live chat too. So yeah, they've got live chat here. I mentioned would be a good idea for you. Stories, people buy stories. If you've got a nice story, I mean, you've got a bit of stuff here, but I don't know whether it's really an interesting story about your business. So I think if you can improve the story of your business, that would help greatly as well in terms of people buying into that story and buying into that business. A little bit more about yourself and your business and so on, I think would work better. Let's have a look. Here at the top, they've got their customer feedback. They don't have the summary of their reviews. I'm surprised. I don't know what the reviews are on Trustpilot, but they did have good reviews. I recommend maybe having a summary of 4.9 out of 5 Trustpilot reviews or whatever it might be. Very simple. You can join the email list. But okay, and then the different services up the top here that it comes up straight away. Home, you can go on straight onto the service that you're looking for. On yours, yeah, you have a drop-down menu and you have a lot of services. There it stands out very clearly. It's already sort of pre-opened, which is interesting. The main headings are sort of aspect. This is image is not very good. Clearly, it doesn't render very well on my screen. I do have a large screen, but that said, we use large screens. I don't know what it looks like on a smaller screen, but they should have really tested this on different size screens because it's sort of chopped off there. It does say here clearly what they're doing. London property maintenance experts covering multiple trades. It's very clear what they do. Clear how to contacting them there. Doesn't look like they've got a live chat, but then they've got their main trades down here. And then this one here, My Plumber in London. I do think it's a little bit amusing. My Plumber in London, award-worthy plumbing and heating company. I wouldn't put your an award-worthy plumbing company. If you won awards, yes, mention them. When somebody mentions they're an award-worthy plumbing company, it implies to me that they don't have any awards and they haven't won any awards, but they kind of think they're worth awards. It's a bit like saying number one plumbing company. According to who are they award worthy? If you're going to make statements like that, you're number one, you're award worthy. You really need to have evidence to sort of back that up. So I wouldn't use that wording myself. They've got some accreditations here, gives a bit of trust factor here, which I think would be so important for you, reviews, accreditations, that kind of stuff. And interestingly, they have a club here. So they're looking at getting subscriptions and so on, which is an interesting model. And something, and the ways we could look at working with you to increase your recurring income, I think you could look at rather than just one-off emergency calls and so on. And they've got their rates and so on here. Clear telephone number, book online. They've got, yeah, they don't have live chat. They've got a little survey about improving their website, and then they've got fairly near the top the different services they offer. So we'll put up here. Yeah, their van, clear number, book. They don't. Oh, they do have live chat down here, but so there is live chat down there. Book today. Okay, you can click and see what you're looking for, what to expect. So yeah, here's clear images and how to contact them. Here they got their Trustpilot reviews. 4.6. Okay, it's not too bad. I would probably put that a little bit higher up here so people get that trust factor. That said, Dynarod have got good branding and are well known and they're sort of popular services and so forth. And this other one you mentioned, Able Group. Okay, here they put their Trustpilot reviews up here. Nationwide repairs and maintenance experts. Yeah, I mean, there's clear messaging. It says what it does. They do imaging videos of them doing that, fixing things. Clear call to action, requesting a call up at the top. They've got the Trustpilot reviews up here, gives credibility. That said, they're getting a little bit low at 4.2. It's rounding down to 4. So, yeah, they probably need to be a little bit careful, particularly if they dip below that, as to where they actually want to be showing those. And they need to be looking at why they've got bad reviews and dealing with that and dealing with their customers who are not happy. And we can come on to that review process in due course. And here they go. They show you the process very clearly, how the process works. So, as I mentioned, it's very good to have a clear steps on what customers need to do and what's going to happen. So here we are. Call them on that number. We'll confirm your appointment, and somebody will get there quickly. It is stating the obvious, but it just makes it very clear to people. You want to reduce that resistance. Some people might be a little bit confused about what's going to happen, how it's all going to work. It's laid out in, very. They've got some credibility here in terms of their memberships as well. It's a little bit below the fold. Clear number up here. It's saying it's charged at local rate. Making clear it's not a premium line. Different services up here, up the top, so people can select what they want. Some more information, some customers, giving them credibility. Trustpilot, some excerpts, and then some pictures of them doing the work that they do. So yeah, so the other thing I looked at was your page speed. We always look at page speed for websites because they're running very slowly. That can affect your SEO. And if you're running traffic to it, you can lose people within a second or two. Your mobile is very good. It's 90, within the 90 to 100 range, 93. There are a few minor points on your core web vitals. You might just want to check those out with your web design guys. But yeah, 93 is a good score. And likewise, desktop 99 score. So that's really good. Your page speed. So that's set up to load quickly for users, and they'll help with your SEO in a big way. So that's really good to see. So then what we looked at, so yeah, one of the biggest things I think for you is the reviews. I did a search reviews perfect plumbers, and you don't have many reviews out there. You've got on Google too, and the odd other review elsewhere. You haven't claimed your Trustpilot page. That's somebody else's. I looked at yours, it's not claimed. And here it is. Yeah, you haven't claimed that. For trades and so many businesses nowadays, people look and go on reviews. So we'll come on to your SEO ranking and so on, which is, you've been doing a bit of work on that, which is great. But you really need good reviews, because if people don't know you, they need trust and confidence in you. So they might find you in your listing, but if you don't have many reviews, you might not convert those into customers. So yes, they might find your page, click on it. Okay, fine. Let's check the reviews. And when you've got no reviews, people don't have that trust and confidence in you. So I would highly recommend you run it, and we can help you do that if that's of interest, is a review process, an automated review process with your customers, different ways of doing that. And you can have process, and also contacting those people. If you do have customers who are not happy, let's face it, sometimes things go wrong, mistakes happen. Dealing with those issues quickly so you can make sure people aren't dissatisfied and don't need bad reviews. But having a sort of an automated review process will make a big difference. It'll make a difference in people searching for you. Just check your credibility. You can then use those reviews on the top of your website. It will help also with your SEO. If you look at your SEO, plumbers in Guildford, we'll look more at your SEO in a bit, but you are ranking, which is good, on the bottom of the page. Although the bottom page, not many people are going to click on your listing. But if you get more reviews, you can improve your Google My Business listing, and then that will start appearing in this local pack up here. And that's often the first place people come to look at. And then, of course, you've got the Google Ads up here that we'll come on to in a bit. But that, if you can dominate this page, your natural SEO for your website, appearing in the local Google My Business listings, and possibly even a Google ad, you've got a big chart. You're dominating that real estate for that keyword. And some of these don't have particularly large number of reviews. Okay, 85 is a reasonable number. But this guy here, 20 reviews, 25 reviews, it's not a huge number. So it wouldn't be possible over time to get more reviews than these guys, and then look at optimizing your Google My Business listing so that you start ranking your Google My Business listing for your keywords as well as your organic listing, and that will drive you significantly more business. So the next tool I looked at is SEMrush. This is a tool. I need to caveat this. It's a tool. It's not perfect. The best way of looking at your stats is looking at your Google Analytics. That'll give us a true view of what's happening. But given we don't have access to your Google Analytics or your competitors' analytics, this is the next best thing. It is a tool. It is an approximation. Sometimes it can be out, sometimes a little bit, sometimes significantly. The higher the traffic to the website, generally speaking, the more accurate it is. But it provides us a useful benchmark, if you like. I can see you've got 18 authority score, which is okay. You SEO want to beat that up, boost that up. You're ranking for some search words. You got quite a few backlinks, and if we look at some of those search terms, your all your stuff's coming from non-branded search. So people are looking for those keywords. We can have a quick look at your top organic keywords, competitors here as well for local ones, but a quick look on those. Loading a bit slowly. There we go. So these are the keywords you're ranking for. These are the positions. There's a lot of stuff on here, but just briefly, these are the positions. This is the approximate monthly search volume, and these are how easy relatively it is to score to rank for those. So the lower, the easier. Green is easier. Red, one's very easy. 100. Red is very difficult. So yeah, you've got some reasonable rankings on some of these. So I assume you're getting a little bit of business through that. You're sort of you're ranking, but you're not. Yeah, if you could just get a little bit higher on some of these, I'm sure it'll make a significant difference to your traffic. When we're doing SEO, we look at generally keywords you're already ranking for because Google's already flagged you as those being relevant, and those be easier to generally speaking, depending on the level of difficulty, to increase those rankings. So some of these, if you could nudge them up a few places, you get more traffic on those, and that might make a significant difference to your business. Again, if we work with you, we can go through those in more detail and check what's relevant and what one would target as your best keywords. So what I've done here, you mentioned some competitors. So we've looked at the traffic analytics. This is quite an interesting tool. It looks at where the traffic is coming for those websites. So here we've got direct traffic. So that's generally people who know about the business typed in the domain name. Here we've got referrals, so referrals from other websites and so on. Here we've got search, social media, and paid traffic. So, I mean, one of the big players in the market is obviously Plumbers, or Dyno, an aspect. If you look at all of these, and My Plumber as well, their main source of traffic is organic, not really anything happening on social, and then paid traffic, paid search. And here's a sort of diagrammatic representation of that. So you got your Google organic, direct traffic, Yahoo, and Google paid traffic. And that doesn't really surprise me. People are going to obviously know your business if you're well branded. They're going to type in your domain name. SEO, a good source of long-term traffic, but it can be competitive. And obviously, some big players who are probably dominating a lot of those good keywords. And then social media, well, Google paid search. Those are customers with high intention. If somebody wants a plumber, broadly speaking, they're going to be typing in for that service, plumber now, emergency plumber, those kind of keywords. And that works very well on Google. Social media doesn't work so well in your business. Clearly, people are not going to be on Facebook and then see an ad for a plumber and say, oh, that looks interesting. If you went down a subscription model and you had various other models, perhaps, but certainly not for your core services. So that makes sense on what we would expect. So what we've done here is to look at some of the SEO stuff. By the looks of things, you've been working quite a bit on your SEO, so you're probably familiar with this or this type of research. This is your domain here. These are the competitors you mentioned, the monthly search volume and the level of difficulty. And some of these, and you can see how hard they are. And obviously, if we were to work with you, we could dig through those and what is relevant. But you can see the big players here. Actually, My Plumber's got a lot of ranking for a lot of keywords. So many aspects got a lot, and Dyno's got quite a few. And then this is you here. So your 235 is picking up. So some interesting stuff. Again, it's a tool. It's not perfect, but it gives a guide. Also gives the cost per click. In my experience, generally the cost per click on Google search is a bit higher than, but we have other tools to look at that. So yeah, coming back to this search I looked at earlier on, as we can see, I understand you've been investing a bit in your SEO and you're getting some rankings, but you at the bottom of the pages, so you're not probably going to get that much traffic. There are other people who are doing pay-per-click for plumbing, so clearly it's working for them, unless they're losing money on it. And then I mentioned these local listings. So people often don't go much below these listings here. So to get up here, you can run Google search ads, and if you want to get into this local pack, then the various things to do to optimize your Google My Business listing. But one of the main things that will be most important, most obvious, is your Google reviews. If you can get those up, Google will give you more of a weighting in your Google My Listing business and a few other things that can be done to help you rank on that. And then that'll give you listings in the top here. And yeah, it doesn't help having organic rankings down here as well. If people are coming through, they're going to see your ad, they're going to see you on the Google My Listings, business listings, and some organic rankings here. And you got a very good chance. Someone's looking for a plumber, at least one of those listings will get a click and hopefully convert into business. So yeah, looking at Google search, which I think is probably the biggest opportunity for you. Yes, the SEO, but I think Google search here, I put in one of your big competitors in that particular space. Some of them more broad, so I put in Pimlico Plumbers. That's another tool we use. And here we can see the keywords that whichever competitor we're looking at is bidding on. We can look at the approximate monthly volume, approximate cost. Again, these are all estimates. Sometimes they're a bit higher, the cost per click. And we can also look at the ads they're using and the copy. Now, we wouldn't copy their ads, but it's always interesting to see what's working for other companies. Plumber comes, I would imagine, how you can see they've got a big budget in pay-per-click. They've obviously done a bit of research and testing. So yeah, we look at what triggers they're using to get business. So yeah, as inspiration when we look at your ads. We'd also look at how long their ads are running for. If something's running for a bit, then we know it's probably working for them. So, and which ads? So here we've got a graph of the months that ads have been running and so on. So yeah, we've got it. We can get a good idea of what's working for them. But I think the most important thing for you is to make sure the website's converting as best as possible. And I would improve your messaging on the top of your website. I would get some more trust factors on there, social proof, so that it increases conversion. I would look at testing without that little van. I personally find it just a distraction. Maybe it's not for everybody. And then equally important, I would look at putting in a system, an automated system for getting reviews. I think you're probably losing a lot of business because of that. Not that you got bad reviews, but you just don't have any reviews or not that are obvious that have come up. So people will be looking at you. They may come to your web for SEO if we run ads for it, or whatever other method they heard of you word of mouth. A significant percentage will search for your reviews, and if they can't find any reviews, there's a good chance they won't contact you. So I really think you need to increase your reviews, and I think that'll help you significantly convert the traffic you're getting to your website already. And then once you've got those reviews, it might be worth running Google search, and you might want to carry on with your SEO. You are sort of on the bottom of page one, top page two on a number of keywords. If you can up them a little bit, that might make a difference. But yeah, if you look at Google My Business as well with those reviews, that'll help your rankings on that. And those often outrank the natural SEO, website pages. So those, it's really important if you can get up at the top of the page on those. I did have a quick look at your Facebook and stuff, but as we discussed, it's not really some of your competitors. Yeah, it's not really a way people are finding your service. What you could do some retargeting. I know some of your competitors have got Facebook pixels on their website, so they can run ads to people who've been on their website and not contacted them. But it depends. If you're selling longer term services, that could work. But with I've got a broken tap, I need it fixed urgently. They're going to do a quick search, look at reviews, call somebody straight away. So I think it has limited benefit. And you can see Pimlico Plumbers is not doing it. Yeah, it's got some ads on there. It's giving a bit of social proof. But I mean, it's the size of their business, and the other ones are not. Yeah, they haven't got a huge amount going on their Facebook pages. So yeah, I really think SEO. I mean, reviews. I think reviews are your number one. In terms of priority, I would say messaging on your website, reviews. I would say Google search and then some SEO. With the reviews, I would say reviews and your Google My Business listing and some Google pay-per-click. And then, yes, next working on your SEO to try and up those rankings. I hope that's useful. If you'd like to contact us, we're happy to help you. We're partners, digital marketer partners. So we work with digital marketer. We're authorized to use their tools and methodologies. We're working with them to grow 10,000 businesses worldwide, double the size of businesses. So we can work with you on your strategy and on a sort of fractional CMO to part-time marketing director basis. But we can also work on more tactical stuff. So we have access to a number of tools from digital marketer we're authorized to use, but we're also trained media buyers with ad skills, one of the biggest and best media training companies. So we can help you with your more tactical stuff. So Google search, other paid advertising, SEO, and a range of other marketing activities. So I hope you find this useful. If you'd like to discuss it further, please feel free to get in touch. Thanks.